All right, so I just finished up in the gym. It's about 11 o'clock at night, and I've been trying to record this video all day, but could not find any time in the day when it was quiet in the house to actually do it. So I'm going to do it right now. First and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to all of you guys out there that have been sending me messages, making comments on the videos, sending me direct messages on Instagram. I absolutely appreciate the support. You know, I've been doing just a couple of these videos, honestly, because I have fun. I like to, share my collection with people, and it seems that, folks like some of the content, so I think that's great. So we'll continue to do a couple more and see what happens. So this video really is just a random video to highlight some of the things that I've picked up over the last maybe 2 weeks or so. So let's jump right in. I'll show you a couple of things. So I've always been a fan of Archangel. I read X Factor a lot back in the day, have a huge run of X Factor books, but I was always a fan of Archangel. Never a fan of Angel, but Archangel I actually liked. So met a guy via Craigslist and actually went out and drove 2 hours to meet him, 2 hours back. But I picked up a couple of his books, a couple of really cool books. And the first is X Factor 24, which is the first appearance of Archangel. And it's honestly a really sharp copy of this book. This guy took great care of his books. And I was very pleased. There's like no color breaks, no bends, no folds. I mean, no nothing. It is a great book, and I actually plan to send this in to CGC. Not that the book is worth a lot, but again, it's just a great copy, and it's a character that I like. So we'll send that in, and we'll see what happens with that. Another book that I picked up from this guy was the first appearance of the Infinity Gauntlet, and this is Silver Surfer 44. Again, a very, very solid copy of this book. I took all of the books before I purchased them out of the sleeves, had a chance to inspect them, and they are sharp. I've learned a lesson from sending books into CGC that it pays to have them pressed before. So I'm actually going to have these books pressed before encapsulation, because I think that that's going to help. I mean, even though they're great copies, they can always be made better. I was dinged on one book that I submitted because it had a fingerprint on the book. So we'll have these pressed, and we'll see what they come back at. But again, just a sharp copy of the Silver Surfer book. Given that the movie is coming out, I think that this is going to be a very popular book. Another book that I picked up, I'm a big fan, as you guys have probably heard if you've watched any of the videos, of X-Men. And, as I looked at my run of books from my childhood, I realized that I had a lot of the books, but I was missing a couple here and there. And one of the books that I was missing was issue 282, which from Uncanny XMen, and it is the first appearance of Bishop. And again, just a really great copy of this issue. Great corners, great lines. I mean, the guy says that he felt that the books were in the low nines, and I think he's probably spot on about that. But I had issue 281 and 283, but not 282. So I went ahead and picked this up, and again, very good copy that I'll be sending into CGC. Two other books that I picked up. Well, actually 4 other books that I picked up from this guy. 2 I'll show you in a moment. Another 2 I'll show you in maybe a month or so, because I want to send those into CGC, and I'll let those be a little bit of a surprise because I want to do something special with them. There's a couple of other books that I picked up at my local store. It was Amazing SpiderMan 794. Picked up a couple of copies of this. This is the first appearance of, I guess, what is the Carnage symbiote, as it has been acquired by Harry Osborn. So issue 794 is the really popular issue, because I think that's the first appearance of the Red Goblin. I guess that's what they call him. I was late to the game, to be honest, with this book. Can't find a copy of it anywhere. I'm actually on a waiting list at a comic book store not too far from my house. And I also was able to secure 2 copies off of eBay. These things are going for a lot more than cover price, but it was worth it to get the books, to have them in my collection. My hope is that in the future I won't be late to the party again and have to pay as much for a modern book as I did for those 2 copies. But I was lucky again to find them. I'm hopeful that this one store up the street here will have a book for me at cover price when he gets his books on Tuesday. So fingers crossed. Also, in the line of the Infinity Gauntlet, I picked up Infinity Countdown, Adam Warlock #1. Picked up a few copies of this book. This book was a little interesting. I think the artwork was interesting. Let's put it at that. It took me a moment to kind of adjust to the artwork, but they did a nice job of kind of going through Adam Warlock's history. I actually picked up his first appearance in Fantastic Four. That book was bought as a slab, so I haven't been able to actually read it. So it was interesting just to kind of read a little bit of his history in this book. So we'll see what issue 2 brings. But issue 1 was pretty good. The artwork, I still question that, but neither here nor there. So getting back to this guy that I drove out to meet, I think it was yesterday. He had a couple of books that I already had copies of, but I wanted to buy from him because I honestly felt that his copies were better than the copies that I had from my childhood. And so actually, one of them is Amazing Spider-Man 361, which is the first appearance of Carnage. And I received recently an 8.5. So again, I thought this was a great book. Again, I've had the book forever. I thought it was a great copy of the book from my personal collection. But I saw these from this guy and I thought that maybe they were a better representation of this particular issue. So I went ahead and picked up an additional copy. We're going to send this in to CGC and we'll see what happens. My hope is that it'll be higher than the 8.5. I've learned a lesson from this book, from the encapsulation of this one, to know that I probably should get this one pressed just in case, to maybe hopefully come back in as a 9 or above. Fingers crossed with that. So the other book that I purchased from this guy is another copy of X-Men 266, first appearance of Gambit. So this, again, I thought was a really great copy of the book from my personal collection that I've had for a long time. But as you look at it, I think there's a couple of spine ticks and things like that that, of course, brought that score down. So I went out and picked up an additional copy. And again, I think his copy is probably a little bit better than my original copy. He has a little bit of a, I don't know if you can really see it, there's a little bit of a dip here. So we're going to have this thing pressed and hopefully improve it. He has none of the line spine breaks that I have on my copy. He has none of those. But I think a good pressing will hopefully improve the grade of this book, and I'll be able to have a first appearance of Gambit at a much higher score than an 8.0. So we'll see. So again, not a bad haul of books as of late. There's some other books that I picked up just because I wanted to read them, like Legion #1. I picked up a copy of that, and I not really into Legion, but I was watching his show on Netflix, and so went out and bought this one book from his, I guess, new series. It was an interesting read. I'm still looking for his first appearance. I've been unable to find his first appearance at a fair price. The hunt continues for that, but not a bad haul of books. There's a couple more, like I said, that I've picked up that maybe I'll share at a later date. So again, I want to thank all of you guys out there for watching the videos, for liking the videos, for subscribing, for leaving me comments. I absolutely appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. I'm definitely enjoying making the videos, and I will try to follow as many of you guys as I possibly can, because I think you are also putting out some really great content that inspires me, that motivates me, that gives me a couple of things to think about. So again, thank you very much, and keep watching. Take care.